Hello, Adam White, Running Central, here to talk a little bit more about the TriggerPoint therapy products, pin and stretch muscle manipulation to help our body regain elasticity and allow our muscles to be the elaborate system of levers and pulleys that it was designed to be. We've already talked about the soleus, we've done the gastroc posterior tibialis. Next on the docket is the quadriceps, this big region here, system of protagonists and antagonists. And a lot of us get hamstring discomfort, piriformis discomfort, sciatic discomfort. If we're having issues in the hip region, if we're having issues in the lower back region, if we're having those IT problems, quadriceps are something that we definitely need to be addressing. In addition to the lower leg, because everything starts with the foot, but we've got to address the musculature in this area. So the quad baller is one of the most effective manipulation tools that you can do on your own. Again, effective massage therapy, skilled hands, best that you can do, but remember, it's not an issue of getting the massage, it's getting to this massage. How often do we brush our teeth and floss? I'd like to think a couple times a day. How often do we brush and floss our muscles? That's the question that we all can answer honestly, probably not frequently enough. So, quad baller. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you how to do this, but I want you to understand that as I'm moving here, and some of it's hard to see when I'm laying on the quad baller, we are going to be starting right here. We are going to be finishing right here. And as we move over these three planes, working around to the lateral side of the quadricep, okay, over here to the IT band, we are not going to go to the kneecap, and we are not going to come all the way up here to the hip bone. We want to avoid roller on bone. That's a no-no, okay? So the area that I'm working is here to here as I work my way around. Make sense? These manipulations are intense, as you've already experienced in the lower leg. If at any point in time, as you're going through these ranges of motion, that it's too intense, get up, walk it out. No problem at all. Simply return to the spot where you left off. You will see as I do these manipulations, they're very intentional. We've all been to the health club and we see people grabbing a roller type device and they're zipping up and down on it really fast. That's not the right technique. I don't walk into a weight room and I don't throw weight around as fast as I possibly can. I'm very intentional. I do my counts. I'm mindful of my form. The same is true with all of these manipulations. We want to be mindful and intentional about the manipulations that we are taking part in, because the more mindful and intentional and the more precise we are with our technique is going to enhance the end result, what we are doing this for in the first place. So, I'm going to get on the quad baller. At the top of the quad there, my elbows are directly below my ears. I don't want my elbows too far back. I don't want them too far forward. The idea behind the elbows and the arm making a direct 90 below the ears is to stabilize the body as well as to keep balanced pressure on the lower back. My opposite leg is G.I. Joe style, army crawl, off to the side. Again, that's done to stabilize as well as to help oneself be able to adjust weight and pressure on the roller. Okay? Remember to breathe. Breathing's the oxygen, the massage is the blood flow, and the two together create elasticity. We're going to start, we're going to give just a little wiggle to allow those muscles to relax. I just kind of shake into that, and I start with 2 inches toward the knee, 1 inch down. 2 inches toward the knee, 1 inch down. Reposition the elbows, 2 inches toward the knee, 1 inch down. And I will continue this motion, very slow and methodical, all the way to just above the top of the knee. Give a little shake, and we return to the starting point. Again, if at any point in time you've got to get up and walk it out, that is just fine. Simply return to the area which you left off. At this point, I am going to shift about 45 degrees to the outside. I am going from this position over to here. And you will feel that quad baller in your leg roll over the muscle groups. You will know what you're doing. If you need to take your hand to help with some additional stabilization, that is just fine. 2 inches down, 1 inch up. 2 inches down, 1 inch up. Notice I have a very nice straight line from my shoulder down to my heel, and I am working that plane in a very methodical fashion, remembering to breathe. When I get toward that top of the knee, just above the top of the knee, I pause and I return back to the beginning site. At this point, we are going to shift a full 90 degrees. I am on that IT band, okay? I have shifted my leg to help me stabilize as well as adjust pressure if necessary. I am on my right arm as I am on my right forearm as I am on the right side of my body. And it is 2 inches, 1 inch. 2 inches, 1 inch. 2 inches, 1 inch. At any point you can give a little wiggle if you find a knot and work that area for a second. And it is very important when you're on that IT band to not go down to the knee. You don't want bone-on roller. When I get to the top, I come back, and again, I'm very mindful that I am not extending up on to the outside of my hip. I get up as I finish that manipulation, and I walk it out. Very, very, very powerful and effective manipulation to be able to allow to regain quadriceps elasticity. Thank you for joining us today. Next up on the docket, we'll be talking about the piriformis, and the piriformis is a big antagonist when it comes to hamstrings, sciatic, and lower back pain, but we can't effectively address the piriformis unless we've addressed the quadriceps and the lower leg. There is a methodology, ladies and gentlemen. The foot is the first thing that hits the ground each and every day. It starts with dorsiflexion, and that's why we want to, as we can, soleus, gastroc, posterior tib, quadriceps, and then next up, piriformis. Join us for the next video to learn a little bit more. Thank you.